Kira Thorne had stolen from museums, private collectors, and even the occasional archaeological dig, but she had never stolen from the dead. Not until Exerion IV. The ruins sprawled across the planet's northern continent, like the bones of some massive creature, their crystalline spires reaching toward a sky that had seen no living civilization for over 50,000 years. The precursors had vanished long before humans had discovered fire, leaving behind only these haunting monuments and fragments of technology that made contemporary science look like cave paintings. Magnificent, aren't they? Dr. Marcus Webb's voice crackled through her comm unit as she crouched behind a fallen pillar, watching his archaeological team work in the distance. The energy readings from the central spire are unlike anything we've encountered. Kira adjusted her thermal cloak and checked her equipment. Webb's expedition had been searching these ruins for 3 months, but they followed protocols, filed reports, worked slowly. Kira didn't have that luxury. Her client had been very specific: get in, find anything portable and valuable, get out. The consortium paid well for precursor artifacts, no questions asked. The central spire loomed before her, its surface a seamless fusion of what looked like obsidian and starlight. Strange symbols pulsed along its walls, not carved, but somehow existing within the material itself, like thoughts frozen in crystal. As she approached, her scanner began detecting energy signatures that made her equipment whine in electronic distress. Careful around the primary structure, Webb was saying to his team. The quantum resonance patterns suggest some kind of active technology. We don't want to trigger anything accidentally. Kira smirked. Accidentally was exactly how she planned to trigger things. In her experience, ancient civilizations always hid their best treasures behind their most dangerous defenses. The entrance wasn't visible until she was standing directly in front of it. The spire's surface simply opened like water parting around her hand. Inside, bioluminescent patterns traced pathways through corridors that seemed to extend far deeper than the spire's external dimensions should have allowed. Her footsteps echoed in impossible harmonics as she descended. The walls here weren't just crystalline, they were alive with moving light, data streams that flowed like liquid fire through conduits that mapped themselves as she watched. Her scanner was useless here. The energy readings were off any scale her equipment could measure. 3 levels down, she found the chamber. It was vast, circular, with a domed ceiling that displayed what looked like a real-time map of the galaxy. Stars pulsed and moved in patterns that suggested they were tracking something or many somethings. In the center of the chamber sat a device that defied easy description, part sculpture, part machine, part living organism. It resembled a flower made of metal and light, its petals constantly folding and unfolding in complex geometric patterns. Kira's trained eye immediately catalogued its value. Intact precursor technology was worth more than entire star systems. This piece could buy her retirement on any paradise world she chose. She approached carefully, noting the secondary systems that surrounded the central device. Crystalline pillars hummed with dormant power, and holographic displays flickered with symbols that seemed to watch her as she moved. Everything in the chamber felt poised, waiting, like a held breath. The extraction tools in her kit had been designed specifically for precursor technology. She attached the quantum field generators to the device's base, watching as they created a protective envelope around the artifact. The process should have taken 15 minutes to complete safely. She had the field generators active for 30 seconds before everything went wrong. The device didn't just activate, it erupted. Light exploded outward in patterns that burned after images into Kira's retinas. The chamber filled with a sound like singing mathematics, harmonics that seemed to resonate in dimensions her brain couldn't process. The galaxy map overhead began moving faster, stars wheeling in accelerated orbits, as something vast and distant responded to the device's call. Kira tried to shut down the extraction, but her equipment was no longer responding to her commands. The device had somehow co-opted her quantum field generators, using them as amplifiers for signals that were racing outward at faster than light speeds. On the map above, she watched in growing horror as points of light began moving toward their galaxy from the dark spaces between stars. "No, no, no," she whispered, her hands flying over her controls. But it was too late. Whatever the device was, whatever it had been designed to do, she had activated it fully. The chamber's walls began displaying new information fleet formations, tactical readouts, star charts marking invasion routes. The precursors hadn't vanished, Kira realized with growing dread. They had been waiting, sleeping, and she had just rang their wake-up call. Above her, Dr. Webb's voice cut through the cosmic symphony. "Something's happening. We're detecting massive energy signatures throughout the ruins. The entire site is coming online." Through her helmet's visor, Kira could see ships beginning to materialize in space above Xerion IV. Not ships as humans understood them, but constructs of living metal and crystallized thought, each one larger than a city. The advanced scouts of the Precursor Armada, returning after 50 millennia to find their galaxy occupied by younger races. Her extraction had worked perfectly. She had stolen the most valuable artifact in known space, the key that unlocked the Precursor's return. Unfortunately, she had also just doomed her entire species. As alarms began blaring from the archaeological camp, Kira looked up at the galaxy map one more time. Thousands of lights were moving now, converging on the Milky Way from directions that shouldn't have been possible. The precursors were coming home, and they were bringing their army. She had always prided herself on being a professional thief. She stole valuable things and left clean getaways. But this time, Kira realized there might not be anywhere left to run.